So how many days did it take to shoot that bar scene? You've got the scene where you make use of most of your extras. Was that a long shoot, or how do you coordinate something like that?
That was intense. We shot that at Barney's Beanery in Pasadena, and we had, I think, 8 hours to shoot it. So trying to figure out how to shoot it, we shot it with 2 cameras. We went the day before and drew a floor plan and had everything, lighting and everything diagrammed. We used DSLR cameras, so we used a lot of natural light and just like kind of Chinese lanterns on sticks in order to bring up people's faces. And it was like move, 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 move throughout the whole day, because we got load in at 8 and we had to be out of there by 7 because they had like a company party that night.
And it's a pretty important scene in the film, isn't it? I mean, that's kind of the centerpiece of it.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the things when I was writing it. Initially, it was just going to be like a little 3 or 4 minute kind of montage type of John Hughes scenes mixed with Star Wars, and the bar scene was something I really wanted to do. John Hughes movies all have these dance sequences in them, The Breakfast Club being the most famous, and so that's where the bar scene came from. It grew from there, and then kind of became like a pretty pivotal scene in the movie, where the boys finally meet their hero, or the guy who was them 20 years ago, and get the inspiration to go on and bust into that party like it's cell block AA23.
Yeah, you got a lot of cameos in that scene, a lot of famous people. How do you get those guys to work in your little movie? Because are you somebody, or are you just how'd you get them?
I'm not important yet, but hopefully someday.
You're not like George Lucas's cousin or anything. You don't know anybody in the Star Wars, do you?
No, I'm not. I don't know anybody in Hollywood. I came out here. I grew up in Chicago, like I said. But I had been working on the script, and I had shown it to a few people, and I got invited to a Clone Wars cartoon screening at the Egyptian in Hollywood, and bumped into James Arnold Taylor there. And just went up to compliment him how much I loved his Obi-Wan voice and how great I thought he sounded and how great he portrayed Obi-Wan. And he goes, oh, what do you do? Really nice guy. And I told him, oh, I'm working on this film, Star Wars and John Hughes. And he's like, oh my God, Ferris Bueller is my favorite movie. Send me the script, and I'd love to read it. And so the strength of the script got him on board. He brought Catherine Tabor on, who plays Padme in the Clone Wars. And then through a lot of power of positive thinking and a little bit of just ingenuity, we got Kevin Smith also.
Can you talk about getting Kevin Smith? Like, how do you get somebody who's so identified with Star Wars fandom to come and show up for one of a billion Star Wars fan films?
It was kind of funny. So I wrote Kevin into the script. Everybody's like, "Oh, do you know Kevin? How Kevin Smith is going to be in this movie?" Because we cast relatively unknown actors in the movie, and I was like, "No, I don't know him." So immediately I'm like discredited. I'm like, "But we'll get him. We'll get him." And so after the first day of shooting, with all of us still in our costumes, Han, Luke, Leia in the slave bikini, like that was going to be our big thing. Went to see his podcast at Universal City Walk. He does it every week. I was like, okay, cool. We'll get his attention. He'll be like, oh, look at these guys. I'll talk to them after the show. And I thought maybe we could even shoot it just like right after the show there. Didn't happen. He waved to us, went about the show, never heard from him again. So I'm like, okay, what do we do? Plan B. So I started following him. I opened a Twitter account. I started following him on Twitter, like religiously, like I'm on my iPhone, refresh.
So you're stalking him, is basically.
Basically, yeah. I stalked him on Twitter. And
you went to where you knew he would be, and
yeah, in a professional way, not in like a scary way. I didn't have any like severed heads with me or anything.
Well, not yet.
Right, but eventually he tweeted out that he was looking for a camera person to come and shoot one of his shows. So I was like right on top of it. I was like, I've got this. I had all the gear he was looking for. I showed up with a full crew, and we taped the show. And he said, oh, can you come back tomorrow? Tape my next show. So we did that, and it's been a year and a half of us coming every week. We went to Australia with him. I went to the United Kingdom with him on tour, and it just worked out really well. It was, thinking outside the box, basically.
How long were you doing it before you begged him, hey, would you take a look at my script? You know, would you be interested in doing this?
Let's see. So we started in March, and I think probably in July, I went and I asked his assistant if there was some way that we could get this scene shot. Because we had done a lot of work for free up to that point. I was like, well, man, it's going to take 3 minutes of his time. You know, I think we could do this. I think we've earned up, you know, built up enough good credit to kind of cash it in. And he agreed to do it, and then we ended up shooting it in September.